Hi, this is Mrs. Abdul bringing you the Albany High School 10th grade summer reading list. Remember that the summer reading list is only a list of suggestions. You're certainly welcome to read on in a series that's suggested or another book by the same author, so definitely check in with your teacher. Here is part 1. The first book is The Great and Only Barnum, The Tremendous, Stupendous Life of Showman P.T. Barnum by Candace Fleming. This is actually the story of P.T. Barnum, who was the creator of what we now know as the Bailey and Barnum Circus. His life was full of excitement and curiosity growing up, and what he brought to the public before his circus days was actually sideshows and curiosities that people paid money for, that included seeing animals that they normally wouldn't see, as well as people that they normally wouldn't encounter. So that is The Great and Only Barnum. The next book on the list is one of the shortest. It's 7 Days at the Hot Corner by Terry Truman. The main character of the story is waiting the 7 days to find out whether or not he could possibly be HIV positive after colliding with his best friend, who he didn't know was HIV positive, on the baseball diamond. So not only is he pretty shocked at the revelation of his best friend, but he's also scared about what the truth might be. That's 7 Days at the Hot Corner. The next book is Carl Duker's Jim Candy, another sports story. Mick is the main character of the story, who is being pressured by both family and friends to perform on the football field, and succumbs to the pressures and starts taking steroids, also known as Jim Candy. A lot of the negative effects of steroids begin kind of permeating in Mick's life, to the point where he is now scaring family and friends, and they are ready to confront him about his drug use and behavior. What they don't know is that when they confront him in the car, that he has a gun. The next one is Bootleg. It's Murder, Moonshine, and the Lawless Years of Prohibition by Karen Blumenthal. That is the story of all of the men and women who helped shape the country's law that actually made alcohol illegal, and what it took to bring it back, because so much happened in that short amount of time. We found out about people like Al Capone, who were running speakeasies, and what it was doing both to the families before Prohibition, and also what was happening to business and people afterward. The next one is called Twisted by Lori Haltz Anderson. She's also the novelist for Speak, if you've read that. Twisted focuses on a male main character who is coming back from doing some community service over the summer and is now being recognized for both his bad behavior that got him the community service to start with, but also his bad decision making. And he's really got a careless attitude about what's right and wrong, and so his decisions are being derailing his opportunities in both school and in life, and he's realizing that he has kind of the I don't care attitude toward it, but how his decisions will end up affecting his life. That one's called Twisted by Lori Haltz Anderson. The next one is by Lucy Christopher. This one is Stolen. After you suspend your disbelief that a girl would be able to be drugged and put on a plane and taken halfway across the world, you get to the story of Stolen, which is the girl is now in the Australian outback after being smuggled by a man who has watched her for years. He hasn't tried anything with her. He hasn't killed her yet, but she is trying desperately to escape because she doesn't know what his intentions are. That one's called Stolen by Lucy Christopher. This next one is a nonfiction graphic novel, and the book is called Fallout. J. Robert Oppenheimer, Leo Slazard, and the Political Science of the Atomic Bomb. So this one is the exploration of all of the people and politics and laws and collaboration that it took to create the atomic bombs, and then what the atomic bombs were actually used for. So if you're a graphic novel fan. This next one is called Day of Tears by Julius Luster, again, one of the shorter books on the list. And this one is a historical fiction recounting of the largest slave auction in American history that's also known as the Day of Tears. where families were broken up and sold to different parts of the country at a time where slavery was acceptable. That one is Day of Tears. This next one is Heaven is for Real by Todd Burpo. Some of you may have seen the movie that came out a few years ago. And this one is about the story of a boy on the main cover there, Colton, who experienced a near-death experience, and after he recovered was talking with his parents, who were both very religious, and they discovered that they think that Colton actually went to heaven, met and saw God and other people, and then survived to tell the story. And so this is their story recounting his. That one's called Heaven is for Real. This next one is a contemporary classic called The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd, also made into a movie recently. And the girl is exploring and finding out about a mother that she's never known, and stumbles upon a group of sisters who are also beekeepers. So she's not only finding out about her mother, but also about life in general. That one's called The Secret Life of Bees. The next one is called Give a Boy a Gun by Todd Strasser. And the main character of the story, before bringing a gun to school, leaves a suicide note that reads, "You made my friggin' life miserable. How? By the way you raised your kids to all want to be the same and to hate anyone who dares to be different." That's the story of Give a Boy a Gun by Todd Strasser. Ryan Smithson's Ghosts of War is a memoir. He actually came to Albany High School a few years ago to tell his story. He's local, graduated from Columbia High School, and at 19, after 9/11, enlisted in the military and spent time in Iraq. So not only is it the story of his time over there, but then also about coming back and suffering from post-traumatic stress. That one's Ghosts of War. The next story is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. This is one of the more darkly humorous stories on the list. Junior is a Native American living on a reservation surrounded by alcoholism and poverty, and he realizes that the only way out is to start attending the white school off the reservation. It takes a lot of time and effort, opportunity, and adventure in order to get him there every day, and when he is there, he's being bullied, but he really wants to play basketball, and so he finds some camaraderie eventually on the basketball court. And that one's The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. The next story is a science fiction story that has a few books in the series called Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. Miranda is the main character of the story, living in Pennsylvania, and the moon has knocked the tidal wave, or knocked the waves off kilter. There is now no more sun, which is killing off the vegetation and leaving it very cold. And it's about survival. Family members are missing. She doesn't know if they've survived. Neighbors are all starting to die, and they're now pillaging their homes in order to stay safe and warm and survive themselves. That one's called Life as We Knew It. That is the end of part 1. Join me for part 2 in just a minute.